cursor is not... well, whatever.
What's wrong with the cursor?
Well, you went to go live while your cursor was moving it around, so I have no idea what... like...
Okay.
It doesn't quite overlap.
I'm not really sure what happened there. I had a crash with FAF and I had to force close a bunch of stuff, and it looks like I lost Streamlabs at the same time. But we should be back. Apologies, everybody on the stream.
I mean, at least it was during the start, so barely anything was...
Yeah, and I am still in the game, so we don't have to... It's not like we've got to make any strange changes. So we are back. Let me just make this the high resolution again, because I had to put it on windowed mode so that I could tinker with stuff.
So, okay, let me just... Well, you fix that. Let me just do the start. So, at the bottom, we have, at the top we have Team Pepsi, containing of Pepsi, Arch, and Madingo, or how you're supposed to pronounce that?
Mandingo.
Madingo. That sounds way more fun. And at the bottom right, we got Team Lunyshko with Boom and Slado. So this is the second game. We didn't get to watch the first map, but the first map, Team Lunyshko won, so they're up 1-0. And apparently they picked a map gen, the first map gen we see today, and it's quite a... it's not the best map gen I've ever seen. It's gonna be quite a turtle map. Well, eventually Navy is gonna be insanely strong. It's not the turtle map in that regard, but it's... You're gonna be ecoing at the start, and eventually you go all in on Navy. It's not, and there's not much room to maneuver on, so...
Both Lunyshko and Pepsi opened, EspiranTo opened not first bomber, but early bomber. But yeah. They both got shot down after doing only a couple of engineers.
A little bit of air engagements. I'm surprised that SP is still in base with his HU. Like, especially because those ridges south of his base, like if engineers get killed by bombers, like what's happening right now, it takes so long to send new engineers there, so why not do it with an unkillable HU instead? It's not like the HU in base is gonna do something. No. So that's actually quite important, but they kinda damage each other. So there's a lot of maxes, and I'd say air is gonna be insanely strong on this map. The bottom left also has quite some maxes, but isn't as important as it seems. It's good to have it, of course, but you don't want to invest too much too early. The transport actually gets spotted by the bomber on the left from Pepsi, but there's no ETs to shoot it down, and there's no backup coming.
Yeah,
the bomber missed the engineer. It missed the ground fire. Okay. Top right, there's just monkey spam with Navy going on between Lado and Arch.
2 Seraphim navies today. Drop from Arch onto the cow island.
There's apparently background noises.
Really?
I'm not sure if you
yes, it's because when Streamlabs was lost, it's lost all of the settings. I will fix it back to where it was, but it will take me a couple of minutes. So I'm gonna put FAF into windowed mode, so the resolution will be a little bit lower, but it will then fix.
I'll just focus on the game while you fix the sounds.
Yeah.
There's a RT drop from Slado on the plateau of Arch, and that's actually gonna do a lot of damage. Even though there's only Tech Bomb Nexus he's gonna kill, there's still so many Nexus, and it's gonna take quite some time to expand back again. What is that, 7 dead Nexus? Maybe 8 or 9? At least 8. Well, that's a very nice drop actually. I'm not sure if this much Tech 1 spam is the right move though. It kind of feels like a Tech 2 Navy map at some point. Even if you completely win Navy with frigates, you can't kill anything with them. For intel it's so good, and for later if you go Tech 2 air, but Tech to Navy, I mean. But it's hard to say. Oh no! What's this? Ringed Tech to Air HQ from Boom with Tech 1 P. Okay, he's reclaiming them. That is a bit of a waste. I feel like he built way too much power. Yeah. So big issue is he finished his first Tech to Pigeon, then he's going Tech to Air Rush in a bit. But the moment you finish your first Tech to Pigeon, you can already go Tech to Air instantly.
Okay, I have re-added I've re-added the sound, gain, and the filters. So
okay, everyone, if it's still bad after you heard this, please say it.
Yes.
So it can be adjusted
precisely.
again. Okay, so Boom going Tech to Air on 100 mass income. Madingo is going Tech to Air on 90 mass income. So Boom is in a slightly better position. But Madingo is making a third pigeon. Why? You don't need that. Is he going for some weird strat rush? No.
Yeah, he's already
That's
overflowing a lot of E there.
He's overflowing the E because he's stalling because he's making the pigeon. And he doesn't have a place for T3 pigeon adjacency. Either. That's very, very, very bad. Like, if your air slot, the most important thing you have to focus on is just where do you place your first air factory and where do you expand your grid. It's actually very important, and a lot of people just
he is just getting a scout though. That's the first time they've scouted any of them.
Well, true, but I mean, it's no surprise that someone is going Tech 3 Air. But that's not good. That means at least short term his air is gonna be a lot worse.
So where would you put it if you're Mandingo right now? Put it underneath? Woo! Okay. He has decided.
At this point, what he's gonna do is he's gonna expand the rest of his air grids, but just not next to his HQ.
Yep.
That's how you continue from this. But honestly, aside from every option is bad. Even reclaiming the pigeons, because he didn't do it, it will cost a lot more time. He can't wait for that. It's not possible. Plus, even if you make it underneath his air factory, you still block all the max adjacency to the left. Like, you can't make storages around the max. So that is also quite bad. It's just, it's just bad altogether.
So Pepsi has got a tank drop, and in return, Lunyshko is doing a floaty Lobo push over the water.
Yep.
So they're both raiding.
Actually, let's look at factions. Is it the same? It's everyone with Seraphim aside from the air players. That's no surprise, to be honest, on this map.
Boom Noob went UEF.
There's some hover spam coming from Slado as well. There's a drop on the top right from Arch coming. Also Tech 1 RT drop. That should take some revenge from the RT drop that Slado did earlier.
Where's it going? Here.
I don't quite like the Tech 2 lands from Slado though, because I think the map is a bit too big for Tech 2 to be really great, and he's making frigates anyway. Like, both Arch and Slado went for lots of frigate spam, but they neither got much done. Slado's actually quite behind on mass already.
This drop's gonna be brutal. Oh, it does drop right next to the ACU though.
Oh, dude, if you microed that ASF, he adjusted the drop because he figured he could get further. Dude, this drop, wow, okay, that could have done 10 times more damage. It won't kill a single max. It was also mostly tanks, not RTs. That's very good for Slado.
Free mass delivery.
T3 air-wise, wait, let's see eco. So Boom is 30 mass ahead against Madingo, which is very good for the long term. It means short term, seems like Madingo is making more air. But Boom is doing a better job ecoing. At least that's his priority. Slado is behind Arch on mass income. Actually, he was, but just now it's evened out. Probably because he got raided a bit. and Lunyshko is slightly ahead of Pepsi. So Team Lunyshko is slightly ahead of Eco. Otherwise, they also have more navy control, but Pepsi is going for not a swim at the bottom left, and with air control, it can do quite some significant damage actually. I'm surprised he's not going for Tech 2 Maxes and just going for the factories to win it. Although with the Notas he can just completely win the entire bottom left.
Yeah. Boom needed to wait for the Inties to come and help. Like he's in fighting.
Yeah, Lunyshko should give Boom the Inties, but I don't think they can engage anyway. I think that position is bad, it's fucked.
Oh, they're not going to get a choice now.
Oh, no, that is the best engagement possible for Boom. That is so good, that is so good. With some nice micro, he needs to kill the ASF and then retreat before the Notas come. He will still lose, I think. Nah, he can't retreat now. That was not the best. The thing is, he had less ASF to begin with, and there were the Nota support as well. They're still gonna be close, but there's gonna be quite some Notas left. There needs to be built AA everywhere. Which is what Lunyshko is doing. So now I think the ASF should just try to suicide on the Notas that are low HP, try to suicide a few ASF to kill them, because there's no reinforcements. Actually, there are reinforcement Notas coming, but they're miles away. But these Notas can kill so much eco. They should kill Boom's eco, to be honest.
Ooh, the T2 Max is... No.
The Boom does have 4 air factories now, all with good adjacency, while Madingo only has 3 air facts and only 1 has 2 pigeons adjacent. So long term, Boom will catch up. It's just that because it's happening right now, his aggression, he doesn't quite have enough time to defend here properly.
Oh, they're gonna.
He needs AAs. Yeah, he just now queued them up, but it's a bit too late.
Oh.
Does he have a Sam? He does have a Sam. He probably should have gone in to engage there, because he has the Sam to back him up. And his opponent is also Cybern, so he has stealth ASF as well, which is quite brutal. Yeah, that was quite a bad loss. And it was just too far away from the stem. But most of the Notas are slowly dying. They're not doing as well. The Notas are being used by Pepsi to defend at the top. To defend against the Phobos, but that's great because that's buying so much time. Like, you don't want your Notas to do that. Although it's unmicroed hover, so the flags just get one-shot by the Notas.
He has killed almost as many mexes here with this hover spam as the Nothers have. Honest.
Yeah. There's just one Nota left alive. Notas are so good in these types of situations. Basically, 2 Notas is equal to a Strat Bomber. Although they have way less HP, of course. This one that's about to die has 3.5k mass killed.
He has another
So
14 of them at home.
Yeah.
Uh,
But now there's quite some time for Boom to recover. Although he did take damage, he is still on higher mass income than Madingo. He's gonna have 6 air effects in a bit. I'm not sure he should. Okay, he's mass stunning insanely hard.
oh my
Because he's
god.
making attack 3 max. That's why. He needs to yeah, watch his eco better, which is really important. There's a cruiser out from Slado though, which can matter. But it's just a single cruiser that can be dodged around.
Scary looking wing of Nothers right there.
It is. It might be enough to one-shot the Navy factory,
Yeah.
like we saw Grimplex try against Judy in the Saturns game.
I mean, it's also might be enough to is that enough to one pass Slado's AC. Pass.
It is enough to one pass, but
He'll dodge,
it's
though.
not as so. You know, it's insanely risky. Like you, they can potentially kill 20 Tech 2 maxes, or they can kill an ACU. I'd rather go for the 20 maxes, because the maxes can't be dodging. And like, if you even if you know for certain you can get the ACU, I still might not go for it, because I mean extra play is important, of course, but a lot of maxes killed. It's far more reliable. It is still good. So Madingo has 35 ASF. Boom has 26, so he's still behind, mostly because of the mass stall. Like, he can't engage this yet, and there needs to be flex from Slado here. I think he needs to go in and suicide on the Notas.
Preemptive dodge there.
Hello, if you're planning to join now. We're about to start. You have 2 minutes. Thank you.
We're watching a game.
Oh, the Grimplex game we could join if you prefer to.
I mean, we can't just stop watching this game mid-game.
Yeah, we'll stay. We can always watch the. We can always
course.
like speed watch the replay
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then. Yeah.
So yeah, that was about as good as it could have gotten for a team Lunyshko.
Tech 2 drop
The
actually
Notas,
makes it in.
Sorry?
There's a Tech 2 drop from Lunyshko made it in.
Oh, true.
It's
Oh,
right
that
next
will
to
do
an
a lot of
upgrading
damage.
T1 Rex, but I think he's going to
Yikes.
get nothing for it apart from this one
So
Rex.
he will kill a lot of maxes with that. More importantly, Slado, he lost like 3 or 4 Tech 2 maxes, I think 3 at most. But he got 10k mass, 7.5k mass donated. All the Notas died, plus the air loss wasn't anywhere near as big as it could have been for Boom. So that was overall one of the best possible outcomes. And now this counter drop will do more damage. And it's so much easier to if you have some ASF to kill Notas than it is to kill these random hover units
random.
with air, because it just goes all over the place, and you split everything up, which you can't really do when you with air units. Although they kind of are idling now. Not the best.
Even more when it's got flak mixed into the Phobo drops as well. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Did he lose this? I think.
Pepsi gave his base to Arch. Nice. I guess we have another case of
Depression.
depression going on.
Mental health awareness, by the way, guys. Find yourself getting depressed. Talk to someone.
Oh my god, I mean, he is completely dead here. Like, the hover spam, like, it's doing so much damage, he lost the bottom left corner as well. Oh, he's about to lose it. Like, its situation looks very bad.
Navy's kind of ground to a stalemate, but it's allowed Lunyshko to kind of keep pushing. They haven't managed to shut this down.
Yeah.
Like a couple of PDs here might have been able to stop this.
At the start, I thought, well, the hover spam is just not a good move, because it's too early, because hover spam can do much damage with raiding, but it's expensive. Like, especially at the start, like a single Phobo is 50 mass, like 4 mass per second on, like, if you have 2 factories spamming Phobos at the start, it's 8 mass per second, sometimes it's like 25% of your income.
When you've
But
got
this
a
over
pack
on
of
the
them and
left-
they've got 500 mass kills each, then it starts to look much more appealing.
Yeah.
Mandingo forced into Tech 1.
Oh,
Tech
no,
1
you
bomber
should've-
spam.
At the very least, you should have just made some gunships, because there's a flag. Like, a single tactic gunships would be so much better than this. It's 2 flags, actually.
I'm gonna.
I mean,
gonna
all the ego,
split here.
honestly, that will just end this game. That rate is too brutal. The amount of damage it did. Plus, there's still pressure from the front. The only thing that's safe is Pepsi's main base, because there's 4 PDs there. And basically, Arch and Slado seem to be kind of grinded against each other. Arch is actually ahead by quite a bit, not in Navy, but in Eco. Oh, he inherited Pepsi's base. I forgot about that. But yeah, that is a bit too brutal. Boom is also ahead again against Madingo because he lost a lot of those maxes on the left. I think there's only 4 maxes on the top right island.
Yeah.
It's still nice to have it though, simply for vision. Like that's how the Nota attack on Slado a few minutes ago, like they only knew about it when it started attacking the Navy factories. There was a lot less possible reaction time. It's just that Madingo, like if he had some T3 scouts in front of his air to scout for Boom's A7 engaged before the Notas died, that could have been, honestly, it could have been game ending, those Notas as well. Or like, at least it could do the same damage as this hover on the left. These hover tanks have 2.5k mass kills.
They have so much. I'd really like to see. Oh, we got a. Is this a comm drop? Yeah, he picked up his ACU there, but then decided against it.
Oh,
Lunyshko.
true. Well, I mean, he doesn't have any upgrades, so.
I'd like to see him use those transports that he's got to pick up his army on the left here.
It's true,
and
yeah.
just drop it onto the plateau. I mean, I know Pepsi's ACU
nice
here,
circle you made there. Looks very good.
Look, it's an excellent circle, a perfect circle.
I mean, total incomes. Arch is on 300, Madingo is on 300, roughly speaking. They are like 200 mass income down. Team Pepsi. Oh, it's not quite Team Pepsi anymore since he only has his ACU.
I mean, the drop.
Team Arch and Madingo.
So the top team, Team Mandingo. I mean, they have stemmed the chaos in the middle from the floaties, and they're winning Navy.
They are actually winning Navy, yeah.
So that it's not over. They got a lot of destroyers.
They have to transform the Navy win into
Max damage, yeah.
Yeah, like in this case, as Seraphim, it's you kind of want to go attack 3 Navy. Stera cruisers, like they're so easily counterable with TMB. Like you want to have a few of them to snipe undefended maxes, and then just go battleships probably. At least that's what Arch is doing right now. And now probably Lunyshko needs to stop the hover spam. Once Navy is lost, the Sarah destroyers will just crush the hover. But Lunyshko is going to make his own air grid.
A very unusual engineer drop right next to Pepsi's ACU. Why?
I'm making a PT there.
Why? Yeah, it does look like Navy's going to get complete. Slado's losing his T2 Navy hitch. Is that going T3?
Which one?
His Navy hitch.
He doesn't have an HQ anymore.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's why it's stalled. Okay.
The fuck?
It's at the back.
Nice excuse there. Nice excuse there.
Too much tryharding, yeah, buddy.
That's what I always say when I lose. That's the guy who spammed Notas as well.
Yeah. It's all salt. The air is salt. The sea is salt. The land is salt. You can just really taste the salt. That's the salt mines of the map generator here.
I have to say, there's a nice bit of depression going on today. It's always nice to see that.
I actually kind of miss it. It's I think in other games where you've got like the more popular games, people type in chat and they lose their sponsors for like BM, but that doesn't exist in FAF. So you only lose your reputation as an honorable player. Which
I mean that's only if you're like a pro gamer when you have a contract and shit. But if you are someone that isn't like as much of a pro gamer, but more like does, you know, normal streams or something, then it happens way more often. It's also way more fun if you see someone salty, because you can make fun of them for being salty. It's what happens to myself as well when I'm playing a game and sometimes I get mad salty at some dumb shit, and then people make fun of me, and then I see someone else being salty, and then I stop being salty because I have to laugh at the one that's being salty instead. It's my cure for being salty myself. I see. I'm here back. My food is here.
All right. Well, that is the air engage there. Oh, let me stop tracking that crap. Hard to say who's winning here. Equal numbers. I think that Boom Noob has slightly more now. Yeah, Boom Noob is going to clean up air here. He did fight over the top of the cruisers, but it just wasn't really enough to influence the fight there. And after that air win, immediately onto torp bombers. Looks of things. Very sensible. All the Navy's gone for Slado. But the game's still definitely not over, despite the large amount of depression. That strat only got maybe... he got 1 mex and that was it, so... not fantastic. The Navy has actually been passed over to Pepsi, so he has something to do. I think that's a great plan, actually, because he's just being depressed in his ACU, but if he gets to win, you're giving him basically a winning Navy. He can win Navy with this, so he'll feel like he's doing much better. Get some psychologists in. Fast. Sure what these Tech 1 bombers, the idea behind them here was. Just exploring the map.
I'm back.
So the most interesting development is that Boom Noob absolutely crushed on air. There was a big air fight and Boom Noob wiped the air. And then all the Navy got passed over to Pepsi, so he has something to do.
Oh, okay. So he still has motivation to do something.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, I checked the air numbers before I left, and it was like, I think Boom had like 15 to 20% more. So it's not that big of a surprise you won, especially, I mean, I'm not sure if the ASF from Lunyshko already was in fact. The thing is, even though Team Lunyshko is very far ahead, ego-wise, it still takes quite some time probably to finish it out, because it's still such a big map.
Yeah. It's a sort of game where people, if you were playing in 3v3 MM and you know you're like half the eco and you're not doing so well, you'd probably just leave, but you don't want to leave a game in a tournament.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Fight to the bitter end.
And now there's gonna be infinite torp bombers on
Yep.
the destroyers, and then Lunyshko is making infinite navy factories for frigate spam, and there's the hover spam, so probably will be a navy loss eventually. The battleship won't do well versus all the small stuff.
No.
Actually, the air from where's the air from Boom?
It's off
Oh,
the,
it's all there at the bottom
it's
right.
off the map. I don't know why it was down there.
I think it was following a scout or something. So they lost a lot of torps for no reason.
Here comes the air wing.
Oh, that turn.
Oh. Yeah, he really did him dirty from behind there. Oh my god. Oh, this is not consensual
keeps
at all.
going.
Oh, don't make it stop. Yeah, that was some very non-consensual air combat there. Poor Mandingo was just trying to run away, but he can't leave. He's going to get caught again. Which player is Banani? Because I don't know what all the players have been named.
Lunyshko.
Oh, okay. White is...
Now, I have to say, this is roughly the same advantage that UD and FTX had in the Pyramids game. So who knows?
Anything could happen.
It's a mystery.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a Navy turnaround. I think you're right there. Yeah.
I like how Lunyshko rushed T3 subs. You barely see them.
I don't see T3 subs, I must be...
Honestly, they're probably not even the right move. Probably should just be making battleships, because they're gonna be winning Navy here shortly.
Yes,
With the air control, and with all the hover spam supporting it.
He made those to counter the battleship? But everything he has already battleship.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it counters the destroyers, but you know, those just got torps instead. Now the battleships will start getting overwhelmed soon. Is there a nuke or an RT or any sort of sneaky thing planned? I don't see anything.
No nukes on mine.
Lunyshko is on 800 mass income, holy fuck. I mean, he does have a lot of maxes.
He's so rich!
He still has 30 tech to maxes to upgrade. And he already made 22. He's spamming his math nicely though. Plus 800, minus 900.
Wow. That's pretty nice, actually.
Like, for when you have this much mass income, it's actually pretty solid balance. Okay, they left.
Yep. That's a recall right there. That was only going in one direction, really.
Pepsi, Gigi won't play my Millennium Boom. And we must. Oh, poor Slato. Of course, he purposely said it like that. No way.
That's brilliant. GG, boys!
Nice.